Castle of Heart Retold is the ambitious remake of the 2018 Nintendo Switch title Castle of Heart, and is now available for all platforms. The dev states that this one will be a massively upgraded and expanded version of the original release. I can't compare how it's upgraded from the original because I never played the 2018 version, so it's a fresh experience for me, and I will put it in that perspective. Castle of Heart Retold weaves a tale rooted in Slavic folklore pitting good against evil in a cursed medieval world. You play as Varin, a valiant warrior who's been afflicted with a devastating curse by an evil sorcerer, a servant of the dark god Chernobog. Varin's body is slowly turning to stone, crumbling away unless he maintains a constant killing spree to sustain himself. His quest? To rescue the last priestess of the benevolent goddess Mokosh, defeat the sorcerer, and liberate the land from tyranny. The story is quite straightforward, heroic fantasy with a grim twist, and some dialogue can come across as cliched. The game is fundamentally a 2.5D action platformer that emphasizes precision and high difficulty. Levels are divided into 4 distinct Slavic-inspired biomes, from forested wilds, swampy marshes, snowy mountains, and ruined castles, each with environmental hazards like collapsing platforms, spike traps, and poisonous fog. The stone curse from the story is implemented well to the gameplay. Svarin's health bar doubles as a timer, depleting over time and causing him to lose limbs if not replenished by defeating enemies or collecting hearts. Lose an arm and you can't wield two-handed weapons. Lose more and mobility suffers. This creates a frantic pace, forcing constant aggression rather than cautious exploration. Melee weapons like hatchets, swords, and torches, and you will find some basic combo with the smashing button. There are also ranged options like javelins, crossbows, and even magical projectiles that add variety and allowing for strategic takedowns of flying enemies or distant archers. You will face a boss on the last level in each area that pits you against massive foes like a hulking Vodnik or a fire-breathing Chort, requiring pattern recognition and quick reflexes. Combat is not something you must do all the time. You basically can skip most of the enemies and fight only the important ones, like the enemies that block your way, or the section that requires you to beat all the enemies. Platforming blends classic jumps with environmental puzzles, such as using wind gusts to glide or breaking stone barriers with charged attacks. The platforming is indeed challenging, but there are a lot of checkpoints that prevent total frustration. Quests span 20 levels, with 5 levels for each area. Time to beat each level depends on your skill, but overall is quite short. However, the gameplay isn't without flaws. The curse mechanic, while innovative, can feel punishing in longer levels, leading to repetitive deaths if you're not aggressive enough. The game also lacks of replayability. The rush nature of the game prevents you from exploring each level so much, and the game does not give you that either. A collectible you can collect, despite the item for combat, is just a crystal that increases your health, which I don't quite need. Although I never played the original, I see its visuals a little bit. I can say the visual is really improved so much in this retold version. Character animations makes Varin move fluidly, with detailed crumbling effects as the curse progresses. Environments are richer, featuring dynamic lighting and high-fidelity backgrounds like shifting from lush forests to eerie swamps. The soundtrack blends orchestral swells with folk-inspired instruments that feel authentic for its medieval vibe. Combat sounds are punchy, like swords clanging and enemies gurgling in defeat, although it lacks variety in sound effects for weapons. Castle of Heart Retold is a fun action platformer, especially for those who love fast action games. I like platforming in this game, but the combat is not quite appealing, and fortunately you can skip fighting unnecessary enemies. The score I will give to Castle of Heart Retold is 7 out of 10. That's wrap up our review of Castle of Heart Retold. Don't forget to check our other indie game reviews and our indie game top list. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get more info about the indie game. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.